Well, the union budget is right around the corner. It's a very interesting time leading up to the budget as well for the policymakers as well as, us as shareholders, because we see a lot of movement in the Nifty as well as speculations are rife with what could be some of the measures that are announced in this particular budget as well as has been in each one going into the same. We look at some of the key moves that has seen in the Nifty before as well as after the budget, and get you some of the biggest measures that were announced in these budgets and what could have led to the strong Nifty reactions. Let's first look at 2024, because we had two budgets announced in this particular year. One was post the elections as well, and we did see a 1.5% move in just a week after, and that momentum was continued in the month as well. Leading into this budget, there were a lot of speculation, so we saw a downward reaction of the Nifty in the past week, and we did see some of the measures such as the standard deduction being increased to 75,000 for salaried employees from 50,000 earlier, as well as the new tax regime now in having tax-free status for up to 3 lakh rupees per annum for the investors as well. Apart from that, we saw custom duty reductions on mobile phones, gold as well as chargers as well. And these were some of the key moves in this particular budget. Leading up to the election, we had, the 2024 budget in February as well. Let's see some of the reactions, as you can see in this particular time frame as well. One of the key moves was increasing the budget for capital expenditures to 11 lakh crores, the first and a very huge budget as well compared to the last decade. And we did see one of the positive reactions in the week and the month after as well. For 2023, it was a very budget going into this particular budget. Speculations were rife. We did see a negative 2% reaction just in the week before leading up to the budget as well, while the momentum wasn't very strong. And in this particular budget, we did see, the new tax regime increasing the rebate to 7 lakhs. But apart from that, there were some continuations of policy measures, but nothing big to report as for. For 2022, it was a very interesting budget because we did see a strong reaction going into the budget just a week before by roughly about 2.5% on the positive side. But in the next week, as well as the month after, we saw a sharp reaction on negative 5% of the Nifty reactions. Some of the key measures were like they had involved rupees 2 lakh crores as additional credit to MSME firms. Apart from that, we also saw roughly 48,000 being allocated for building 80 lakh houses, but none of these measures could give the big positive boost. And this was the first such, non-pandemic budget, so as to say, because of the other measures were involved as well. In 2021, we saw a very sharp reaction a week after, and that was because the allocation to the health sector was increased by almost 35,000, and that was led by the, one of the needs of the pandemic as well. Apart from that, we also saw 20,000 rupee fund infusion in public sector banks, and saw thus a sharp reaction as well in 2021. In 2020, just before the pandemic hit in March, we had the budget and roughly about a 4% move in the week after that. But in the month after, we did see some of the speculations come into that as well, impacting the Nifty in this particular time frame. We saw roughly a 69,000 crore allocation to the health sector, and this turned out to be a timely measure by the government, but did not, react too much in terms of, the week after budget was very strong as well in this particular time frame. For 2019, we look at, we saw 10,000 rupees being approved for 3 years under a FAME 2 reduction. So the automobile stocks were in focus in 2019, and did see a positive reaction about 1.6% in this time frame as well. When we move on to 2018, we saw one of the last budgets being presented by the late great Mr. Arun Jaitley. And this particular budget in 2018, we saw roughly 5.97 lakh rupees being allocated for infrastructure. So we did turn out that it had been increased and doubled to 11 lakhs in 2024. This was one of the key budgets in 2018, although it saw a sharp negative reaction because, a lot of allocation was towards the capex as well as the infrastructure, and some form of, reactions on the GST as well. When you look at 2017 and 16, again, very key measures. For 2017 starting was a good reaction for Nifty pre as well as post the budget as well. In 2017, we did see the existing tax rate for the tax slabs are roughly about 2.5 to 5 lakh being reduced to 5% from 10% taxation earlier, and hence the positive move as well. When you finally look at 2016 as one of the key sectors to look at, because we saw a very sharp reaction of 1.8% in the week before, but the month after was also a negative reaction. This was slightly surprising because in 2016 we did see a total investment of road sector increased to about 97,000 crores. Allocation of about 25,000 was also made to recapitalization of the banks, but none of these measures could boost, the Nifty's returns in that particular time frame as well. In 2015, again, a downward trend into the week after as the week before, but a sharp positive reaction in the next month itself for the Nifty, and that's because of an investment of about 37,000 crores in the NHI for building of roads and well. And this was one of the key budgets to watch out for in 2015, as well as because we saw the new government of Narendra Modi come in the first term, and that was some of the key reactions as well. But what do you think of these measures? And especially in this particular budget, what are some of the key things that you are looking forward to in terms of measures for direct as well as indirect tax and among other sector allocations? Let us know in the comments below and follow NDTV Profit for more.